Yeah, metum boss na machre asem we ase na yen Ghana 42 no yati ase. Ede na ha abrofo no. Se ekura de omo hwena no mo won se de obi atiko. Aden na ya na they are so interested. So just say aye omo da ye omo ayi se omo de omo nsem be frofro. Ebefrafra ebibiman yensem na omo ba ade we no omo de asisi yan afrititi no omo ba ne se ne omo do oman no na abrantie na o de sa nsem ba onya daji kyerɛkyerɛ brofo di ma men kyerɛ atwi ma ne ekoso sese ne se Burkina Faso ahia se aba omo eto no sisi omo de tu baby ansa na abrofo no tie no omo muni akum se Ibrahim Traore pekwan bi na wadi oman no so abra timamufo no empene de oye so bibusa sa na tie there be because Burkina Faso for na jinatum ebi na woma ye no mari no because woma hunu ye se ni ade ne si ko Africa no omo anhwe ye on bedi nkuguo na nkuguo no so de omo adi because menyi ni se nia Ibrahim Traore kwan a wabɔ no Burkina Faso fo ba hwe makwa wesu asaba befu na wɔn asa akwa wɔn adadan no ene nka wɔn gyegyeregye ekwa we ya Burkina Faso abo madam fu bia wanya ne baby ko na small cancer Burkina Faso na se chense Burkina Faso ekwa we ya wabato won no I don't think say omo bejai na ya sa koyachi akosa abrofo no asisie ne kwan ya omo dia bibiman ya faso a bibiman ntumi nsore nkoyani no yankɔ ne yankɔ tia branch no wato ne boase akyerɛkyerɛ the BBC for Eka, the Abrofon Eka, and then near a course of Burkina Faso.
I'll tell you why, but there's a problem. A meeting happened in Burkina Faso. There was a meeting in Burkina Faso. I'm going to tell you detail about that meeting. But at the meeting, a lot of things happened, lovely people. Amazing things happened, both to the good of the people of Burkina Faso and the land of Burkina Faso. Decisions were made, actions were taken at that particular meeting. But guess what? BBC and other Western media houses, Captain Ibrahim Traore will call them imperial media houses. They took only their interest out of the meeting, leaving the rest of the things, and come to their platform and pull out their chronicle to paint Captain Ibrahim Traore as someone who is seizing power and doesn't want to let go, you know, someone who is hungry for power. That's what they're trying to paint him. So the whole thing became two updates coming from two sources, one from the presidency of Burkina Faso and one from the imperial media house. So this is it. We are going to take that from the BBC. It's short one. They cook it poisonously, and you will be shocked how they manipulated their way out with this particular news that the Electoral Commission is being dissolved by the government. It's a very short one, so we are going to read that first, and then we move to what exactly happened in Burkina Faso and what happened at that meeting, because what I'm going to read to you, lovely people, is coming from this meeting I'm going to speak about. They neglected everything that happened at that meeting. Only this is the most important to them. Why? Because that is where their interests fall in. They are not interested in promoting anything good. They want to paint a picture. But here we are. This platform, we are not going to allow them. They forgot the Africans are no longer paying attention to their rubbish. Now, this is it. On BBC, this is what BBC said. Burkina Faso military ruler scrapped Electoral Commission, taking control of future polls. That is the headline. Even the headline is telling you that the military leadership has taken over control of the Electoral Commission to handle the polls. That's what the headline is telling you. That's the picture they pull out, although they were saying different things. Now, listen. It says, the detail says, Burkina Faso's military ruler have disbanded the country's Electoral Commission, calling it a waste of money. The Interior Ministry will handle elections in the future. State-run RTB TV reported this. They jumped totally from there. They are not touching anything. They went straight to tarnishing image. They said, since seizing power in September 2022, the coup leaders have initiated sweeping reforms including the postponement of elections, which will lead to a return to civilian rule. A nationwide vote was due last year, but the junta extended the period of transition to democracy until July 2029, allowing the leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, to remain in power and free to contest in next presidential election. The AFP news agency quotes Territorial Administration Minister, whose name is Emile Zebo, as saying that the Electoral Commission, which is dissolved, was subsidized with around $870,000 a year. So they are quoting the minister: abolishing the commission will reinforce our sovereign control on the electoral process and at the same time limit foreign influences, he added. Now they went down deeper, put more poison in. He said, after coming to power 3 years ago amid criticism that the civilian authority were failing to deal with a growing Islamic insurgency, the military leaders have rejected the assistance of former colonial power France in favor of Russia. Right groups. Who made them the right groups? I don't know. Right groups have since accused the army of targeting civilians in its attempt to quash the militants, as well as suppressing political activity and the freedom of expression. There are also questions marked over the effectiveness of the military operation. In the first half of 2025, jihadist group said it had carried out over 280 attacks in Burkina Faso, double the number for the same period in 2024, according to data verified by BBC. Now they are playing blame game. They are saying that, first of all, it is the human rights group blaming the army of taking the life of civilians. And now they are trying to project that the army is not able to fight the insurgency. Currently, let me tell you this before we move forward. Burkina Faso is reclaiming the land and they are reclaiming their territory very well. Now, this is how BBC put it, to project the world that Captain Traore is gripping on power. But what exactly happened, family? What happened at that meeting? Let's hear the truth from Burkina Faso. We are not going to rely on these people. A lot of things happen. You pick only this one to make your case, because this falls within your interest of promoting narrative. We are not going to allow that to happen. Lovely family, if you are here and you have not yet hit the subscribe button and like the video, you are not helping us. Honestly speaking, I beg you, do that for us. Now, Burkina Faso's government actually approved a bill to dissolve the Electoral Commission. Now, there was a ministers' meeting held on Wednesday, July 16, 2025. The president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore, he led the weekly Council of Ministers meeting. This is one thing they do every week. They held this meeting, to track the progress they are making in the development of the country and of the people. Now, according to the government spokesperson, whose name is Gilbert, he said at the meeting, the council reviewed several key matters and made important decisions. And these decisions were not just decisions. These are decisions aimed at improving governance and managing state resources more effectively. So one of the major outcomes of the meeting was the adoption of a bill to dissolve the Independent National Electoral Commission. And this proposal came from the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Mobility. It was a proposal coming from the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Mobility. Now, the Minister of State, Emile Zebo, explained that this decision is part of the ongoing reform. And this reform is to strengthen the state and to reduce government spending. He noted that one of the reasons why they are taking this step is that the Electoral Commission, which is now being dissolved, received close to 500 million CFA francs. That is approximately $820,000 in annual funding. And according to him, this is excessive under the current transitional government framework, because the country is going through a lot already. Giving you that money yearly is useless, first of all, to begin with. Now, this is what the minister said. Let me quote him. He said, let me concentrate a little bit on my screen. He said, the continued existence of the Electoral Commission contradicts the principles line in the transition charter and put a strain on the national budget. That money can build schools. That money can do a lot of things. You understand? So now, what is the new bill doing, family? The new bill, according to the update, will transfer all electoral responsibility to the Ministry of Territorial Administration. And this ministry had managed elections in the past before this Electoral Commission was created. This was the former institutions that was handling the voting process or electoral processes in Burkina Faso before this new one was created. And this new one was created and the hand of the Western influences in there. And this is manipulative. The reason why this was created is because the territorial administration refused to be manipulated, which is the reason why the job was taken from them and this one was created so that it can be manipulated smoothly. And now there are new rules and regulations governing Burkina Faso, and everything must fall within the line to rebuild Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is under construction. Nobody have to determine to Captain Ibrahim Traore or the Burkinabe people which governance system they should adopt. They can decide that we are going the Russian way or the Chinese way or the North Korean way. Before I tell you other things that went on at the meeting, look around yourself, lovely people, and tell me, look at the countries that are developed. These are countries that have long-standing leadership. Of course, in Africa, we have some people who are rock of ages and they are not doing anything. But developed countries have this pattern. A man with a vision must lead the country. Everybody cannot lead the nation. So, lovely people, this is what happened. The role was taken from the Electoral Commission, given to the former institutions that was handling this process at first, before Electoral Commission was, initiated. So it was nothing bad that is done. This is what we can call factory reset. So I can say this is part of the reset agenda of Captain Ibrahim Traore or the government of Burkina Faso. And these decisions were not taken solidly by Burkina Faso's leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore. No, this was proposed by the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Mobility. It is this ministry that said, look, this thing is wasting our money. We need to take the thing back to the original. This setting is not going to help us. It's just going to waste our money. Of course, the one we are giving it to right now has handled it before very well. So why not give it back and then save all the costs so that this money can be used for the benefit of the people? Now, let me tell you details of other things that went on. Higher education sector reforms also happened there. Not only this bill was at the table that day, the council did not only approve this bill, lovely people, they also approved new decrees under the Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation. These decrees update the internal structure and policy of Team Republic universities and research institutions in Burkina Faso. Now, according to the professor in charge of the Ministry of Higher Education, he stated that this particular reform was based on recommendation from the 25th General Assembly of State Institutions. State institutions came together and made this decision on their 25th meeting. And this meeting, they called for a review of institutional guidelines. And these changes aim to, first of all, improve organization and management of higher education institutions, address differences between institutional policies, support better job integration for graduates. It is going to promote entrepreneurship and professional training in schools. Additionally, integrating professionalism and entrepreneurship into academic programs. All these things were at the meeting, but BBC cannot speak about it. All these decisions were made, but BBC only picked this one because that is where their interest is. If they speak about the rest, it will mean that Captain Ibrahim Traore is doing a good job. Let us push him to look like somebody who is hungry for power. That is BBC and other Western media. So this is just a decision made in Burkina Faso, reflecting a drive for institutional reforms, cost-cutting and better governance in Burkina Faso. The proposed dissolution of the Electoral Commission and the restructuring of higher education institutions, these are key steps in aligning the nation's system with the goal of the transitional government. Nothing wrong is being done. Burkina Faso is still on the right track, lovely family. So this is what happened. Don't take BBC serious. They omitted all the details that brought about this decision. They only put it out there in a way to make it look some way.
So Africa, yeah, can't they give Africa rest? As someone can in BBC, as someone can in United say Burkina Faso ministry almost here, governments next year. And among years, about to honor a ball mokadodo. And now almost ready to see a trouble because near Ibrahim Traore, you I was here money crying. This is what about government. When we talk about government, is to have a man with good leadership. And Ibrahim Traore have all that it takes. So what is the need to elect or waste money? Nanka ye jai wi ankebe bo because edura bato so sika Africa yɛde wura elections mu no senka yɛde yɛ ya kwan a kebeboa because why is all about democracy. And if democracy is not helping Africa, can't we change it? Can't we change it? Because these people are not happy to see Africa develop. No, they don't want to see. The Omovian said that before you mania no money aje. Enti bibi basi ya de fan away no ma be o ma bomodin abe create bibi o ye ba be pata ye ba be boa mo no ma fa ho sese ene mako ene Africa ka chiam se da bi ye ni ati timiti na omo koye no omo kan ensem bebre but ba ko a on betimi ya apepa ho ne ade bi akeke kan ho ne ade abon ko aduo se papa no o pese oye kebi mami nkebi oye oka obi nkebi na amanfo agina se odi tumi ne zisi ne nkrofo nso agina atum o ha woni say what is your problem? The nation Burkina Faso have accepted Ibrahim Traoré as a good leader, and you want to paint him somehow for people to know that Ibrahim Traoré is not good for his people. Don't waste your time. Because Africa is not going to sit unconcerned and hear this negativity. No. We are telling you black man is capable. For all these years, with voting and democracy, they were able to build how many kilometers? 3,000. And within 3 years, 5,000 plus. With many other things. And every day we hear good news from Burkina Faso. So what is your problem? You all the time want to paint Africa as if we are not capable. We are not going to waste our time now. Now, me de radiation say emrantie no. And some be say no nya Burkina Faso nkwa na firo. Now, people outside Burkina Faso kasama Burkina Faso. Anu na che say Africa ye ni abere. We are going home with the morning train. And the morning train is Ibrahim Traoré. The old train ECOWAS, the old with that old mentality, and those leaders who is not willing to change. It is time caterpillar have changed to be butterfly, either you like it or not. Now that same caterpillar can fly now. You say usa adane abafanto betimi atu ko tire ntumi ntu aponchirani ntumi ntu enti omo ntumi nchechi ebiem. Now butterfly is going to fly over frogs and lizard, and there is a transformation. God bless Africa. God bless Burkina Faso. God bless Ibrahim Traoré. God bless Adkwart Studios. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.